It is the Faygo of the West. It's kind of the same company.
Okay.
They don't sell Faygo here. They sell Shasta.
Wait.
Is Faygo only in like Detroit? Because I've never seen that in the Midwest or anything.
Okay, I don't know, but they don't sell Faygo.
It's definitely in the Midwest.
Yeah, they don't primarily sell Faygo out here because I think it is the same company that makes Shasta. They just sell Shasta here, and so east of the Rockies, it's Hellman's mayonnaise, and just like that, it's Faygo or it's Shasta.
Wait, so Faygo is in no way affiliated with the Insane Clown Posse?
No.
They just like it.
I'm sure on some level they, the Faygo people keep that shit at arm's length and they're like stoked that someone is buying that shit.
Sure.
But at some point they have to go, fuck, God damn it, we can't embrace this
them?
natural marketing opportunity because, those fucking
If they do, they would have to just lean hard into it. It's either go...
They would have to have a custom flavor. It would just be like Juggalo Punch and just like Juggalo Juice.
What is Faygo? Is it it's carbonated?
It's
just a soda?
It's a bunch of different... Yeah, it's a brand of soda. They have a bunch of different flavors. Arctic Sun.
Anything out of the ordinary, or is it just like knockoffs?
It's fruit punch. It's like Tiki Punch. And
is it just like knockoffs of existing...
Red Pop.
Like, do they have like a Sprite equivalent?
Red Pop.
They probably have a Sprite equivalent. I don't know.
I think it's more fruity than like Sprite.
I think default Faygo is just a Coke ripoff.
Oh, okay.
They do make that.
Please don't send us Faygo. Actually, go for it. All right,
I'll try Faygo.
I love fruit punch. I love fruit punch of any stripe.
I like grape.
Grape's good.
Yeah,
Grape's the best.
I do like me a good Red Pop.
I want to know what Arctic Sun flavor tastes like because it's the one that the Insane Clown Posse derisively said tasted like shit.
Oh, too shitty for the Insane Clown Posse.
They were like, unless it's that Arctic Sun flavor.
So over the Thanksgiving break, I found myself watching about the first 15 minutes of the Insane Clown Posse's Western.
Oh God! Big Money Rustlers.
Big Money Rustlers.
Yep.
Yeah, I made it about
the follow-up to Big Money Hustlers.
Yes. I watched about 20 minutes of it. There were several wrestlers, like Jimmy Hart and Scott Hall, were in it.
It's about the list of people you like. Screech is in it.
That's right. Yeah.
Ron Jeremy.
It's Dustin Diamond. Give him some credit.
Yeah. My God, man.
I couldn't. I thought it'd be a fun novelty. Let's see how stupid this is thing to watch, and I couldn't do it.
It's real bad.
It readily surpasses all of your expectations.
You have to be in. I think to enjoy that movie and Big Money Hustlers. You have to be able to be excited by the notion that these people were allowed to make a film.
Yes.
And have to be excited on some level that, like, man, those guys made a fucking movie. How crazy is that?
2 movies.
Yeah. And if that does nothing for you, which it shouldn't, then you will get nothing out of Big Money Wrestlers.
What was the name of the
Big Money Hustlers?
The Western Town. The name was just something like Poop Town or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's all exactly about the level of brow that you would expect.
Yeah.
The majority of the discussion in the 15 minutes that we made it in was centered on like this is like a professional looking production.
Yep.
They got funding for this.
No,
someone let them make this movie, and they
didn't
did it.
Get funding for it. Did
they fund it?
They make a lot of money.
Like that much though.
The Insane Clown Posse is like quite a machine when it comes to touring. When it comes to merchandise, that hockey jersey. They sold hockey jerseys with the logos of their albums on it. Those things were $200 at shows.
Wow,
and they probably sold pretty well.
I have one. You multiply that out. And look at the kind of cultish mentality that that they kind of inspire in kind of their most dedicated.
Like they've got an audience that will consume like anything they put out at this point.
They are running the Kiss machine. They are running the Kiss playbook in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
They're
right down to the makeup.
Sure. They're 5 steps away from like selling coffins, like the Kiss coffin.
Yeah.
Comic books with their blood in it.
Yeah, exactly. Cool shit like that.
Well, okay, so you know more about Juggalos and ICP than I think anybody here.
Sure.
Anybody should.
Okay. Let's go.
Are they some kind of subversive Andy Kaufman social experiment, or are they exactly what it seems like
they're
they are?
Exactly what it seems like.
Are they really that dumb?
So the big revelation, when GameSpot's console coverage was largely fueled by the Insane Clown Posse, by consumption. Like we tore through CDs. We were working 24-hour days for a little while there near the end, and trying to get shit done and ready for the launch. And so we found ourselves going out, and we needed a break in all those hours. So I was like, let's just go buy a bunch of fucking CDs. And you eventually get to a point where you are like, we need something we haven't heard before. Like, this Machiavelli album only has 6 tracks on it. It's not going to cut it. And you go like, well, what is this thing with this fucking Joker's face on it? It has a sticker on it covering that. It's like saying that this is like too extreme. Like, well, we need to get this because it's called the Insane Clown Posse, and that's probably fucking hilarious.
What year are we talking about here?
96.
Okay.
So we bought Riddlebox, the third Joker's card of 6, and started listening to it. And it's like, wow, this is like fucking really terrible. And then like you listen to it twice, you go, you know what though? Like, they're not that bad.
Like, as musicians, and
as
rappers?
like the rapping, like there's a quality to this.
Rapping clowns go.
Yeah, as far there's a quality to this, and then you add to that the spectacle of like, why are they like they literally like you dig into it just a little bit and go like they literally dress up in clown makeup and they're just rapping out murdering people. Like, it's this kind of like horrorcore offshoot thing that has existed in other acts, and you get to a point where you're like, all right, well, this is okay, I guess. Like, knowing nothing about the culture that surrounds it, just listening to the album and going like,
not knowing about juggalos and this pre-gathering and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, okay. Basically. Or I think the gathering may have been happening at that point, but hard to say. So basically, we kind of got into it by accident. Not long after the site launched, some of the other people that were on staff and the guy who was my roommate up until recently went on a cross-country road trip where they drove around to radio stations talking about video games. They happened to be in Detroit on Halloween and decided to go see ICP. And they're like, well, we have to close the loop on this and go see the Hallowicked show. And they went, or it wasn't actually, it was a rescheduled because it was supposed to be a Halloween show, but it got bumped from that because, it's violence. I don't know. So they went and saw this show and saw them live, and then came back and said, they just dumped soda on each other the whole time. This lasted for about 9 months or so, and then you kind of realize like they're actually terrible, and kind of fell out of it at that point. But there was a brief, beautiful fling with the ICP there on a lot of our parts. That once you kind of the true nature is revealed to you. So the whole thing was like they're going to put out 6 albums, and each one there's 6 Joker's cards, and at the end it's all going to be revealed. And they got to that last one, and then like the big reveal was it was always about God.
Yeah, like the Dark Carnival.
There's a whole song
and
where
stuff.
it's like, like the whole Dark Carnival thing was very much like there were morals attached to it. Like if you listen to the songs and the people they were killing, they were killing racists. They were killing, like dirty cops, and like oftentimes they were
Jesus. Like this is some like
so that was
like a John Brown character.
That was the big reveal. Is like the whole thing was just like, oh, by the way, and it hasn't really come up since. They kept putting out albums after that. And it hasn't really come up, but a lot of their sound changed, and they started mixing more guitars into it, and it just kind of went to shit.
So are they a Christian group?
I don't know. At some point, I stopped paying attention.
Okay,
it's for the best.
News to me. Wow.
But
take it from me. Well, you've seen the movie,
or some of the movie. Exactly. If you've seen Big Money Rustlers,
they're still wearing the makeup.
They're still wearing. Yeah,
they are in the Old West.
They're cowboys, but they're still wearing the makeup.
Ostensibly, it is set in the appropriate period, and yet they ride into town wearing the makeup, and nobody says a word.
Nope. Got to live the gimmick.
Good God, man. Jeff, have you been playing any video games in the interest of Game of the Year or otherwise?
Yeah. I've been fitting in some stuff here and there.
Yeah. What are you playing?